Two of the same exact cars in different skin tones, but people tend to think that just like the Mercedes-Benz video I make, they're the same. In this video, I'm going to explain the differences between this IS and this IS, and you see that they are extremely different cars. Of all of the sedans in the Lexus lineup, the IS is said to be the sportiest of all. Now, this car comes in three different generations. We're talking about the XC10, the XC20, and then the XC30. These being in the middle, the XC20, are what we're going to be talking about today. Now, this particular generation runs from the year 2006 and ends in the year 2013. And of course, just as usual, there's a facelifted version. So beside me here, I have the IS250, and then I have the IS350. But of different years, so I'm going to be telling you why exactly very different. So this being the IS250 of the XC20 generation, this is a 2007 car, so it falls within the pre-facelift era. So the first difference you'd notice is right here in the headlamp. So of course you have full xenon lights, and then you notice the absence of daylight running lamps. So you have two blinkers right here instead of that. The next difference, of course, is in the bumper. So you'd notice here that it has fog lamps, but these are different from what I'll be showing you in the facelift generation. So now this being the IS350, unfortunately falls within the facelift. So the difference you notice here is this comes with full daylight running lamps right here, and of course you have LED bulbs and xenon lights. Now the bumper, so like in the other one, I showed you the fact that the fog lamps are different, so you notice here that they are circular, and you also have headlamp washers on this bumper. So while in the pre-facelift era, you do not have side indicators, in the facelift era, you do have side indicators. So of course in the back here, you'll also notice that the tail lights are different because you do have orange indicators. And right here at the back, you do not have orange indicators. You do have white. Of course, you have the elfiness, and you do have a rear spoiler. Lexus IS250 is powered by a 2.5-litre naturally aspirated V6, which is Lexus's 4GR FSC engine. Now, this engine is rated to a 6-speed automatic transmission and puts out 204 horsepower, 251 Newton meters of torque, with a top speed of 260 kilometers per hour. But this has been electronically limited to 231 horsepower. 231 kilometers per hour. Of course, this particular car runs from 0 to 100, like, let's say from this point to say that white building over there in 8.1 seconds. 8.1 seconds. Hi! But of course, Lexus's IS350 is powered by a 3.5-litre naturally aspirated V6 Lexus's 2GR FSC, and this also is mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission. This particular car is all-wheel drive, and so what was I going to say?
Madam.
This car puts out 306 horsepower, 375 Newton meters of torque, and it does 0 to 100 kilometers, which is the same distance as I showed before in 5.3 seconds. The distance between these two, 8.1 and 5.0. So the IS250 comes in two drivetrains, rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive, but this car here is a rear-wheel drive car, so you have wider tires in the rear. When it comes to the braking system, of course, right here you have two brake pistons right in the front and one at the back. Of course, you have ventilated discs for both of them, and when it comes to the suspensions, you have double wishbones in the front and multi-links in the rear. So of course, because this is the IS350, you do have similar suspension, similar drivetrain, but when it comes to the braking, this does come with 4 pistons in the front and 2s in the rear, unlike the IS250. So because this is Lexus's IS series, it is Lexus's sedan with the shortest wheelbase, meaning it is the most compact of its sedan series. Now, you can tell that obviously, but the interior of this car is not so bad. So I'm sitting on a 10-way power adjustable driver's seat, and that also comes with the passenger seat, which is really cool. Then of course in the roof right here, I have a beautiful moon sitting right there for me. And then there is this entire cluster. This entire center console comes with a digital screen which comes with Bluetooth compatibility, sat nav, and the rest of them, which is super amazing. But because I'm seated in the IS350, of course you can tell that the facelift, of course, is different. It has a bit of silver touches right here on the steering wheel, and we have paddle shifters. So while these cars do come as like with standard features, they also do come with a few optional extras, which would include the sat nav that I mentioned earlier, then of course your pre-collision warning. But the sound system though is up for debate. So tell me, if you own an IS of this generation, is your Mark Levinson system standard or is it optional? There are questions about these two cars that you're probably asking right now. I mean, a lot of you already didn't even know that these were very different cars, especially because people who own this drive it as though they are driving this, but in truth, while they sit on the same chassis and everything about them is similar, except when it comes to performance, they are two very different cars. For example, this does have the vehicle stability system or program, but it has an inadequate braking system which affects its handling. So people who drive this car tend to drive it as though they are driving this, but this comes with the VDI, which is the Vehicle Dynamics Integrated Management System. This English is just too much.
God have mercy upon us.
But this reacts quicker and handles a lot better. And of course, it also has a bigger engine and better stopping power. So, people who own IS250s, especially in Nigeria, I don't understand, but this is different from this. So if you want to drive this like this, you might as well spend the money to get this instead of this and stop driving this like this. Are we on the same page? Nonetheless, if you still want your IS250 to be this, you can actually go as far as upgrading your braking systems. You have to spend that money, of course, to keep you safe. You get, so instead of doing the whole cosmetic changing of grills, changing of headlamps, and slamming new rims and all of that stuff, put all of that money together and get yourself some IS350 brake pistons and put them right here. Also, you can change your brake fluid. So instead of using the ones recommended, you can go a step further, say maybe .3 to .4. You get, so your brakes don't boil, which is a very common thing Toyota, Lexus brakes. You get, so that is actually something you can do instead of coming all shiny and dance. Please do all of this so that we don't start shouting justice for Shegun or justice for Peter, because the car will fling inside.
That one there was a violation. Personally, I wouldn't have it.
Anyway guys, this is the part where we have to part. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you do have any questions, any suggestions, if you have any experience that you'd like to share, please do so in the comment section. And just as always, do not forget to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell icon below to turn on post notifications, and I'll see you in the next one.